And now, straight out of Boston, Massachusetts, it's time for Entertainment Talk Nation, your number one entertainment talk show, discussing everything from the movies to video games and more. And now, here is your host, Robert Rosado.
Hey everybody, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This is a podcast which we haven't done in quite some time. It's going to be a little different. All right, it's not going to be as long as some of our traditional ones. Just want to try and get everybody caught up with some stuff. But before I do that, I want to say hello to my wonderful co-host, Miss Olivia. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Back to be doing this again.
Yes, definitely. Unfortunately, Xander could not be here today. He had some prior plans, but he will be missed. He will be here in spirit. So I missed that one line. You don't remember, like, he normally drops that one-liner every podcast?
Yeah, he had that, like, one joke that just set the mood for the rest of the podcast.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, there's no joke.
Oh, poor, he's not here.
I know. I'm gonna have to get on his ass about that now.
Oh, right.
So before I get into some of the stuff I want to discuss, I kind of want to get caught up with a lot of the stuff that's been going on entertainment-wise. You know, like, obviously, Age of Ultron's getting revved up. You gonna go check that out on opening weekend?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm planning like a group of us to go all at the same time. So I don't feel like a loner in the theater. Yeah. I don't want to be that creeper.
Yeah, I'm getting fired up for that. That's going to be exciting. And, you know, there's the, obviously all these wonderful, now I know you don't watch some of these shows. Obviously last night we had the Walking Dead season finale. Now, have you ever seen any Walking Dead at all?
I saw up to this season, and then I just kind of drifted, because it didn't catch my attention too much at the beginning, and then I just kind of was like, I'll just wait
now,
till
do you remember the character Morgan?
Yes.
Okay, so, I did my review last night, and apparently there was a scene that I missed that included Morgan. And I had no idea. You know, when there was an event, I don't want to spoil it for you, but something took place where Rick killed somebody, and right there I thought that was it. I got up and I went to grab my camera, my stuff, so I could go down and do my video, because it was a longer episode than normal. It was like an hour and a half, or technically, minus the commercials, it was a little over an hour. And I got my stuff, and when I turned back to the television, I saw a scene with Michonne handling her sword and blah blah blah. So I'm like, all right, cool. So it turns out, apparently, there was a scene where Morgan and Rick got reunited, and I completely missed it. And I found out this morning when I checked the comments in my video that, hey, Rob, you missed that scene with Morgan. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Oops.
So I just want to set the record straight for those of you who were watching that review. Yes, I actually did miss it. Now you know why. I was very fired up. It was a good episode. It was a good finale. Very different. And I had to take into consideration that I had work in the morning, so I wanted to get my review up. So I do apologize for not mentioning the Morgan thing in the video. I had said this whole Morgan situation is confusing me. When's he going to reunite with Rick?
Yeah.
Well, he already did. Oh man, it was too funny. So that's to set that record straight. But it was a good season, Olivia. If you get a chance, I would definitely, I don't know if you have Netflix, but they do have the first 4 seasons on there.
Yeah, I stepped into the adult world and have my own Netflix now, so I was like, yeah! I've been binge watching Sherlock and Peaky Blinders, all of Star Trek Next Generation. I just kind of went on like a Benedict Cumberbatch, like Star Trek.
I saw your painting the other day. That was awesome, though. You did a really good job with that.
It was in colored pencil. I was like, it's my therapy right now, just drawing really pretty men. So.
You have an acquired taste. A lot of women do not find him pretty.
It's his voice. Like, that man could read me C-Spot Run for the next 6 months when I go to bed, and I would perfectly be fine with it. Like, it's his voice.
Yeah, he's got that. Yep.
Yeah.
Very soothing.
Yeah.
So, alright, so first thing I want to address, I took a week off. A lot of people know this. I want to thank all you guys who are very supportive. A lot of you guys put in the comment of that video, take your time, do what you gotta do. And, when I see support like that, I feel definitely it's only fair to let people know what's going on, because, that's just, people take their time. They either listen to us on a podcast or they'll watch one of my videos or whatever the case may be. And the reason I took the week off was because I actually was very much considering quitting YouTube. Because my job has been very demanding and there's so many things I want to do with my channel and do videos that I just can't anymore. Like the last couple of months, I've made so many different plans to do certain series that it's like bouncing, it's like playing ping pong or playing a pool table. I'm just bouncing all over the place because I just did not have the time to do what I wanted to do. So, and obviously the podcast will never go anywhere. The podcast is very fun. We haven't done it in a couple of weeks. That's my fault though, but I'm happy to even be here and just having a conversation here with Olivia, who's actually very, very supportive right now. She decided to join me last minute. Because like I said, this is not a traditional podcast. I wanted to touch on some things regarding the reviews that I've missed and also let people know what is finally gonna just be the channel, some changes I'm making. Basically trimming the fat is what it comes down to. I'm basically just going to be sticking with movie reviews and show reviews going forward. That's pretty much it. Everything extracurricular I'm just going to drop because I don't have time to do it. The only extracurricular stuff I'm going to keep is obviously the Godzilla videos. People love that. It's always a good topic, especially with the 2016 movie coming out in Japan next year. Hopefully we get it early 2017. And then, of course, the 2018 movie coming around in a couple of years. And then the comic book stuff, the normal, the Marvel stuff and the DC stuff. That stuff I'll always do. I think the only thing I'm going to change this time is I'm not going to schedule anything. I'm just going to kind of like do a video and throw it up. The only thing that's going to be scheduled going forward are my reviews. If I, like, for example, I think Furious 7 comes out this weekend. Is that right? I'm not sure. Do you know?
Not sure. I just watched the Need for Speed this weekend, so I don't really know.
How was that?
Actually, like, I was watching it with, we'll call him my boyfriend for now. But, watching it with him for the first time, I had no idea what I was getting into, because I've always set my standards with, like, racing, or, like, those kinds of movies with the Fast and the Furious. And I honestly was pleasantly surprised. I honestly liked Need for Speed better than I liked the Fast and the Furious thing. I think after about, like, the third or fourth one, I got burnt out on it. It just got so repetitive for me. I mean, Tokyo Drift was good for the Fast and the Furious, but Need for Speed had a level of... There was a lot of really good cinematography in it that I liked personally. The cars were there. I mean, they had like a Bugatti Veyron. There was the Shelby thing from the Mustang. I mean, there was a lot going on in this movie. Like, it was just crazy. But it was really, really, really good. And I don't normally do those kinds of movies, but I would definitely watch Need for Speed over the Fast and Furious movies.
Wow, that's saying a lot. A lot of people love the Fast and Furious. It's one of those rare series that have gotten better with age. It's really weird.
Yeah. I
don't understand how that's happened. And an early review for this one got a 8.0, like on, IGN gave it an 8. So, but yeah, so that's really my goal, is just to kind of keep things, cause I still love doing this. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the thing. I love doing this. So, the thing of it is I just can't continue to say, hey, I want to do this video, and then 2 weeks later I don't put it up. So, for those of you listening, the way it's going to go now is movie reviews, show reviews, Godzilla videos, of course, and anything else is just random. So it's going to be random. I'm not going to plan it. I'm not going to, announce it or anything. If I feel like doing it, I'll do it and I'll put it up. In terms of the fantasy battles, that's obviously going to continue. I'm not going to nix that now. We're going to finish out this tournament so we can have a winner and I can reward that winner. I want to thank everybody for their patience on this. Al Tinsley's been working very hard. And, but after the fantasy battle tournament, we're going to put that on ice. He is interested in continuing to do a fantasy battle series, but we really got to plan it because I don't want to continue to start, saying we're going to do these videos and then we just don't do them or we just take too long. Like this fantasy battle, both of us wanted this to be over before the new year. And here we are. We're already going into April. So, and that's just real life, that's just real life. That's what it comes down to. He works, he's got a new job, he's got a baby. I have a new job and I obviously have my family. So, yeah, that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. So I just want everybody to know that's how it's going to be going forward for now. I'm not completely saying that some of the other videos I've done will never be up again. They're just going to be more random now. They're not going to be regularly scheduled. If I have an opportunity to do one, I'm going to do it, and then that's basically it. So yeah, that's really what it comes down to. Now, Olivia, again, I know you don't watch The Flash, which I highly recommend that, by the way, just so you know. The first season is only a couple of episodes from ending, but if you get an opportunity, like sometime this year, watch it. It's a really, really good show.
I've thought about it because I know that the Arrow is supposed to do a cameo or something in it, and I was like, I may watch this because I'm going to start watching Arrow here soon.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Arrow's on Netflix. Yeah, and you'll like that. My wife loves Arrow. I'm willing to bet most of it's because of Stephen Amell, but that's okay. Yeah, yep. But yeah, it's, they did have a crossover episode, which was very good. That was like around the mid-season, time. And then, I'm sure they're going to do it again. In fact, I think there was a leaked picture of them together again for an episode later on this year. So, yeah, but in terms of The Flash, because I did miss the review last week, just want to let you guys know I did watch the show. I will be doing a review tomorrow for the current episode, and I will touch upon the prior episode. Now, the last thing I want to cover real quick before we talk about some other stuff is Better Call Saul. So another show that I have been watching. I have missed the last two reviews. But I also want to let you guys know that Better Call Saul reviews going forward, and I know there's only 2 episodes left, but if they were to keep the schedule going forward every season, which is 10 o'clock on Mondays, Better Call Saul reviews will be up Tuesday evenings along with The Flash. The reason for that is because obviously the show starts at 10, it finishes at 11. The time it takes for me to record a video, edit it, and upload it is a lot longer than I think most people would think. And again, I gotta work the next morning. So, not to mention, I do have neighbors, my little studio downstairs, the walls are a little bit thin. She has heard me before, so I gotta take into consideration my neighbors. I don't want to wake them up with my loud voice. So, that can be your expectation for Better Call Saul reviews. They'll be up every Tuesday night, probably after I upload my Flash review or before the Flash if I have time. And that's it. That's really what I want to get people caught up with. So, now, did you, I wanted to ask you because I know you were working on, I don't know if you're probably still working on it. And when you're done with it, I want you to send me a picture. I want to actually show a video of it. But the Silent Hill character, the Pyramid Head, I think it's called.
Yeah.
So how's that coming along?
I had to take a break from it, because of reasons. I had a little bit of issue of the malfunction on my dress. I had to actually make a dress for what I want to do, and I have to stain it, which requires me to take it, sit it in tea for almost a week so it gets that nasty brown color, and then I have to wash it and do all these different things. I still have to make the apron and the knife, and I have to make, I bought gloves, leather gloves to modify to put in this costume. She's kind of, she's the Lady Pyramid Head concept that I found roaming around on the internet that I really, really liked. It was kind of sexy, but it was still weird in the same concept, and it still kept the Pyramid Head aspect to it. So it's still in the works. I kind of stepped away from it with a lot of the issues that I had, and if anybody that doesn't know that's on the nation, or anybody that doesn't know me personally, I was left about a month and a half ago. My relationship fell through, so I just kind of stepped back from everything. And I started working on an Assassin's Creed cosplay, and to get my sewing skills a little bit better before I dived back into the Pyramid Head. I really want this Pyramid Head to be pulled off really, really, really well. So I stepped back and tried to work on other things, and then I'm going to go back to doing the sword. I think the next part of that will be the phase where I make the Great Knife, and that should probably take me about a week. So, yeah, and I have to make this out of foam board, and I have to paper mache it, so yeah. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, and this is going to be uploaded onto the channel too. I'm going to actually, that's another thing. I'm going to start uploading all my podcasts on the channel. Our podcasts, I should say. But there's always an option to download them and listen to them whenever you want on your convenience. Usually when I upload these, they upload on, iTunes. They'll be on iTunes available, as well as, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot the website that I was using. That's how long it's been since we podcasted. Podbean. There it is. Podbean. So Podbean, the links are already in the description, and when you click the link, it'll show you all the episodes we've had in the past. But that's another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to start putting them here. And then people have the option to either kind of do their thing around the house and listen through YouTube, or they can download it and listen to it whenever they want. But one thing I wanted to say in regards to your art, and I'm excited about this. So Olivia's working on a piece for me, and I've been seeing it little by little come together, and I cannot wait to really do a video on this, like kind of an unboxing, so to speak. And you guys can check out her skills. And she obviously has a business where she does this. And you've been busy lately. You've got a lot of business lately.
Crazy busy. I have no idea what happened in my life.
I've known you have not been this busy with commissions.
No, man. I've got another one from Louisiana. I have to do, I'm going to be doing a bust of a Rottweiler. It's one of his Rottweilers that he's had for a while, and a full sculpture. And he's a Civil War reenactor, so he wants the rebel flag to be behind it or something like that. Like, it's a really cool concept for what he wants me to do. So I get to do that. I get to do a couple of surprise commission paintings for like pregnancies and graduations, and like, that's kind of fun for me because I kind of feel like I get to be involved in somebody's life and they don't get to know it. So I'm like, yeah, know something that you don't. Like, I've got that. I've got craft fairs coming up. I'm working on a Monty Python wedding. I'm actually making the costumes from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we have a local castle. It's called the Clayshire Castle here, in Indiana. And, it's absolutely gorgeous. Like, you can stay there for the weekend. You can dress in full Renaissance gear. Like, you get to stay there. It's amazing. And they're gonna get married at this castle, and they want to do a Monty Python wedding. And they asked me to make, like, props and costumes and all kinds of stuff. So that's going on with all this other stuff that's going on. I'm trying to get like cosplays and commissions out of the way for conventions that are coming up. If we have conventions at this point, we'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So it's just, man, with this Indiana stuff that's going on, it's just driving me crazy.
So what passed in Indiana?
I think it's called the Religious Restoration Freedom Act, something or other. It's that big boycott Indiana thing where pretty much it's so messed up because like it's so hard to describe what it is, but a bunch of conventions like Gen Con are pulling out of Indiana, like states are already cutting government funding. Pretty much what happened is our governor decided to pass this bill that pretty much would allow somebody of a religious right, if I understand this correctly, that say I have a business, I paint, I do commission work. Say that somebody comes in to me and says, hey, I'm gay, and would you do this for me? Or if you had the hint that they were gay or found out that they were gay, I could look at them and tell them no because of my religious beliefs.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's been passed in Indiana. And now it's this whole whirlwind of craziness that's going on in all over the place. Like, I don't know if you read the thing that George Takei is like boycotting Indiana, that he doesn't want to come here because of conventions and stuff. Like a bunch of people, like it's just, if you get the chance to look it up, I would, because it's hectic. Like I can
understand. So in other words, a lot of places who don't agree with that would normally do events in Indiana now are going to boycott.
Yep. And like, it's really hard as a small business owner. Like, I would never discriminate anybody no matter what you were. I had a customer or a client come to me and wanted me to paint Baphomet from, I can't remember exactly what it was, but she was like, do you think you could paint this? And I was like, yeah, why would I not want to paint this? And she was like, cause some people just don't get it. And I'm like, well, that doesn't bother me. And like, I'm all for whatever you hand me. Like I have rules and I have things that are set in place to make sure that everybody has the equal ability to get what they want. But I have standards that I'm not going to paint. Like, if you wanted me to paint a penis, I'm not going to do it because that's just weird. That's not going to happen, guys.
Like, hey, can you paint my penis?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to sculpt your penis, man. But, like, it's turned into this, it's kind of hectic in Indiana right now. So,
yeah,
I'm like, sitting on the other end going, man, it's like one step closer to V for Vendetta right now.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
So, alright, so entertainment related topics. So a lot of stuff has been going on. We spoke about the Avengers. We're building up towards that. There's still a lot of movies. I don't know if one thing I notice is almost every day, every week almost, are Star Wars leaks, man, all over the place. All over the place. What was that?
I said I've been noticing it too.
Yeah,
even if it's not the Star Wars like movie, like they've been leaking stuff for Battlefront too, the new Star Wars Battlefront game.
Oh, like, I can't wait to play that.
Little bits and pieces have been like released here and there, like hints and drops and stuff, and you're just like, God, just give us something.
Yeah, and next month, well, in a couple of days, I should say, we're probably going to get another trailer, probably in the middle of April. I'm willing to bet. There's supposed to be a Star Wars celebration, an official, like, big celebration. I guess it's annual, as they do it every year in California. And, there have been hints dropping that there's going to be a trailer for that. But just a lot of leaks, and I don't want to really mention any specific, because if any of them turn out true, I really don't want to spoil it. But if you're a Star Wars fan, be very careful what you read, because there are leaks all over the place, rumors and stuff like that. Whether or not these things are true, I don't know, but just be cautious, because it's really bad. I couldn't believe it, because Murphy helps me out with the weekly update, and I could almost, if I show you every email he sends me of news that I'm looking for or whatever, each one has Star Wars in it. It's always something with Star Wars, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. By the time I get to the movie, I'm gonna know what's going on.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous every week.
Yeah.
So that's that. So we have Jurassic Park coming in June.
And there have been drops of that too, like, just everything, like, this has been coming out, and that's been coming out, and I'm like, this movie is just gonna be ruined for me before the time I even get to see it.
Yeah, it's harder. You can't be on the internet. You can't be on the internet when these movies are coming out. Mm-hmm. And, it's funny, because when the Godzilla thing was going down, obviously I was doing the videos like every other day, every day. But they handled that really well in terms of a lot of stuff not leaking.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wonder, like, I don't know if these studios let stuff leak on purpose or whatever the case may be, but I feel nervous to do any videos of discussing any kind of topics related to these upcoming movies, because there's so much information flying out there. The latest rumor is that there's some characters in the Avengers Age of Ultron that we don't know about.
Yeah.
That's another one I heard, that apparently there's going to be other characters in there. So, one rumor I heard is that Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, was going to make a cameo. So it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And then there's the Spider-Man thing. Now, this is not leaks and stuff, but a lot of people are waiting for the Spider-Man reveal, who's going to play him. And I said in my wrap-up video, I really think it's going to be Comic-Con. They're going to reveal it.
Yeah, that's normally when they reveal stuff.
Yeah. The only other thing I could think of is if they decided to toss in a Spider-Man end credit scene, which wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Then I think either A, we'll just see him in the outfit and still not know who's playing him, or that'll be the reveal of who's playing him. Like, he'll kind of take his mask off at the end, and then people will be like, oh, it's him, and then that's that.
Yeah.
So, but that, I think in the upcoming months, between Spider-Man and the Toho Godzilla movie, that's kind of really what I'm bracing myself for. Because we're bound to get news on that stuff soon.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think the Spider-Man thing, obviously, because Civil War is coming out next year, and same thing with Godzilla. Godzilla's supposed to come out the fall of 2016. So I'm kind of bracing myself for that stuff more than anything, because, especially the Toho Godzilla, I really want to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, I'm super excited to just see Toho come back. Like, they've been gone for so long, and I'm just like, yes. Like, not that I don't love Gareth Edwards, because what he's done in his own Godzilla realm is fantastic, but to have Toho come back after seeing what our version of Godzilla is, and then having them be like, oh, hey, we can do this again. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, and speaking of Gareth Edwards, I'm really interested to see how he's going to do Star Wars next year.
Oh, I definitely agree.
And he also, I heard, Alexander Desplat is going to do the score for his Star Wars movie.
Ooh.
So that'll be interesting. They're working together again. A lot of people love Desplat's score from the Godzilla movie.
I did.
Yeah.
Cause that scene where they drop out of the plane, that music just was, no.
Well, actually, that music, if I'm not mistaken, I heard that music is from Space Odyssey.
Really?
Yeah, that's actually from Space Odyssey. But everything else is him. My father, the one my father likes from the movie, when they're fighting in the city, and there's like it's hard to explain. It's not constant music. It's like reactional music to like every monster blow and monster strike.
Yeah.
And my father loved that. He mentioned that when he saw the movie. I love this part because of the music, how the music is going along with their actions. It's not just one long streak of music. It like stops and then it starts again when they're fighting and there's action and they're hitting each other. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how he's going to do Star Wars, considering John Williams has always been known to do anything Star Wars related.
And I think it'll help push, like, cause Edwards has this way of like taking something that we're so familiar with and like blowing it out of the water. Like whether it's good or bad for people, like it still leaves that impression on people.
Yeah.
Like, you can look at like his early movie, like not necessarily early, but Monsters. Like when I watched that movie, like I wasn't sure what I was getting into with his style. Seeing Godzilla before I had seen this one. And like even in every aspect of the film that he does, he has this way of taking you and like putting you in that situation emotionally. So I want to see where he takes the Star Wars stuff, because it's just, we already have the emotions that have been set forward from the original 3, and then the 3 that were the prequels to the first 3.
Right.
So I want to see where he takes us emotionally, because we've already got preset emotions. So what's he going to do with this one? And how is it going to relate to the primary trilogy too? Exactly.
So it's going to be, but hey, I like what he did with Godzilla. Obviously everybody does. I think he's going to definitely embrace Star Wars. And, right now, to me, in my opinion, Star Wars is in good hands. I mean, I like J.J. Abrams. I know some people criticize him because of his lens flares, but I've always enjoyed his movies. I did like the first 2 Star Treks he did. I know a lot of people hated the second one because of the whole Khan thing, but
I loved Khan, not for the fact that it's Benedict Cumberbatch.
I was gonna say.
But honestly, like, okay, Benedict is able to pull off Psycho. Like, he's just so fucking good at it. Like, if you've seen Sherlock or you've seen, other things that he's been in, he's able to pull off his acting with whatever character he's in. He's able to pull it off so well. And he pulled off Khan I think everybody forgets that this is supposed to be, these Star Treks are in a different reality.
Yeah, an alternate universe or time frame.
They're supposed to be in an alternate time frame from what we're given as, cause they switched the roles, like in Into Darkness with Captain Kirk and Spock, those were switched. So like people forget that it's an alternate reality. Like it's not gonna be the exact same thing because it has to be different. And I like how they handled Khan. I liked everything about it. And like every time I watch Into Darkness, because I own it now on DVD, like the black ship the black battleship that comes out of warp, I lose my mind every time because I'm like, God damn, that is gorgeous.
Are you talking about the scene where it chases the Enterprise in warp speed and blows them up?
Yes.
That is a fat scene. I remember when I first saw that, I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe this ship is blasting them while in warp speed. Sorry guys for spoilers who haven't seen it, but go check it out. It is a good movie.
It is a good movie, and I'm kind of excited to see where they take the next one. I'm not sure what they're going to do with the fact that Leonard Nimoy has passed, because he has made cameos in the movie, which is really sad if you think about it, that he's been through even all of the Star Trek originally, and then he was helping with the new films. Like, I want to see, and I think they said that Bryan Cranston was supposed to be the one that was supposed to be the villain for the next one. I think that's what the rumor was.
That was one of the rumors.
Yeah.
And now, recently, Idris Elba is rumored to be playing the primary antagonist. Yeah. And he's supposed to be a Klingon.
Yeah, and I'm excited for that. Like, I want to see I want to see how they've modernized the Klingons, because when they release it into Darkness, like the way that they looked, I really, really liked the fact that they had piercings. There was more of a tribal, like they were slimmer. They didn't have it wasn't as magnachrome.
Right. It wasn't just a rubber thing on their head that gave them spikes.
Yeah, it was very sleek, and even the armor and the ships, and like, it was well done. I think I applaud JJ for going in and like, doing his research and then like modernizing it for what it needed to be. And it's just it almost reminded me of watching the ships in Into Darkness and the first Star Trek, like watching them reminded me of Nemesis with the Next Generation.
Right.
That, like the way that they had done, oh my god, I just watched this movie last night. The character that Tom Hardy plays, Picard's clone, like it kind of reminded me of the same style of that Predator. The way that ship was done, what was in Into Darkness.
Yeah.
Like I sound like a raging Trekkie right now, but I really am.
No, it's cool. It's cool. So, yeah, so that's, you know, I mean, obviously we went off the beaten path a little bit, but we were talking about this year's movies with the Star Wars, the leaks, directing, of Gareth Edwards and Godzilla, stuff like that. And, you know, we touched upon obviously Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World, I should say, and then Avengers. I mean, these are the big three this year. You know, obviously there's other films coming out that, I want to check out, that's for sure. The one I really want to check out, I think is going to be a big hit, is, The Heart of the Ocean, which is going to be it was supposed to actually come out earlier this year, but I think it's been pushed back to December. It's going to be starting, Chris Hemsworth, aka Thor. And that's the one about Moby Dick. Did you, there is a trailer for that. Have you happened to, check it out?
Yeah, I watched it a couple times.
Yeah, that looks really good.
It looks really, really
good.
I see, the other one too, the new Guillermo movie that he did, like Crimson something, with Tom Hiddleston in it. It's supposed to be
Crimson Peak, I think it's called.
Crimson Peak or something, but apparently Stephen King went and watched it and said it was really, really good. So I really want to see cause I love his movies, especially with Pacific Rim and, Pan's Labyrinth. Like he has his own style that I appreciate.
Yeah, he's a very talented director.
Yeah. I really want to see where this is taken, and Tom Hiddleston is also a bonus, but I mean, I love the fact that all of these movies that are coming out are just unique. Even, I know everybody bitches all the time, oh, well there's so many fucking Marvel movies and this, that, and the other, and we're getting to the point now where our movies can be even more elevated than what they were before with the CGI and the talent that we have. I just hope that we can get something that's a little bit more original instead of reboots all the time. Right.
And, you know, the thing with it is, and there are a lot of Marvel movies, but, you know, there are other things out there as well. Just that these comic book movies right now, they're the thing. You know, and, you know, Marvel has started a trend. I don't know. This is another thing I mentioned on the wrap up last night, and we're going to touch on this a little bit. Then I want to talk something Disney related, then we're going to wrap it up. But what I mentioned on the video was there's a trend of cinematic universes being born, you know? And the most recent one that was announced was Paramount is going to expand on the Transformers universe. So they want to make 2 more sequels on top of the first 4 they've already made, and they want to start doing spin-off movies on the universe. Then you have the rumor about Sony, and this is not even a rumor, this is true, in terms of them starting what's called a Ghost Corp. And they actually have a small facility on their studio dedicated to Ghostbusters. And the rumor with this is that they're going to try to integrate Ghostbusters with Men in Black and stuff, which makes sense. They're kind of one and the same. Then you move on to, you know, obviously DC and Warner Brothers are starting to develop the DC universe. And I think this is going to be an ongoing trend. I think this is how it is. And it's going to be a little annoying. You know, I like Ghostbusters. I like the first Men in Black. Will I like them together? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's going to work. You know, Transformers, that is just a proven commodity at this point. They're not going to fail. It doesn't matter if it's Michael Bay at the helm or myself. People love Transformers. Bottom line. You know, hate the movie if you want, and hate Michael Bay if you want. They just do well. In terms of finances, they're probably the only universe that'll rival Marvel. You know, in terms of money making, but not necessarily quality. And now, you know, and we've spoken about this next one before, because I speculated in the past that I think there's a potential for Legendary and Universal to start building their own kaiju universe.
Yep.
Because, you know, obviously Legendary has the rights to Godzilla, Universal has King Kong, Pacific Rim is Legendary. It's all in the same neighborhood. So, It wouldn't surprise me if that happens, especially at this point. So how do you feel about that? How do you feel about all these new, like, do you think, like, all the new universes now that these studios are trying to develop to kind of copy Marvel? Because that's how I see it. I don't care what anyone says. Marvel was the first one to do it. So anybody else is copying.
Yeah.
So
Plus it's money making.
Yeah.
I mean, Marvel's made a crap ton of money, just with these phases that they're doing with these comic book things. So to me, it makes sense. I'm not sure how I feel about Ghostbusters.
Right.
I feel like that's kind of, like, I see that being like a comical movie more than anything, and if they tried to make it serious, I just don't see it working. But like, I can see where all of these things, I can see them working, but I can also see it's kind of a 50-50 shot. It's either going to work really, really well, or it's just going to tank really, really bad. So, I mean, I'm for it because we all get movies out of it, and we get to be, you know, our own little critiquers, but there's so much that's going on development-wise with, like, all of these different universes that, like, it's gonna come down to people arguing over, you know, what's theoretical and what's, you know, what's right or what's wrong or it's gonna turn into this massive, like, fanboy butthurt scene real quick because people just can't agree on things.
Yeah, and then the other thing, the last thing I want to touch on, before we wrap it up, and I'm noticing, I guess maybe they announced this at some point. I don't know. But obviously Disney is going into the well and starting to make live action movies out of a lot of their cartoons. You know, we have, I don't know, did you get to see Cinderella?
I didn't see Cinderella, but I just saw that they're approving a Mulan remake. Right.
So now Cinderella was good. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I took my daughter. It was the first movie she's ever been to. And I was very afraid that she was going to get sick on popcorn because she sat there with a bucket of popcorn and chowed while watching the movie. And then obviously, you know, Beauty and the Beast is coming out, I believe, in 2017, early 2017. And we have Emma Watson from Harry Potter playing Belle. And we have, I forget the gentleman's name, but he played Bard in the Hobbit series. Mm-hmm. And he's going to be playing Gaston, which I'm very happy about because I like him as an actor, and Gaston's my favorite Disney villain. So I guess, and to me, I think it's cool. I'm rolling with this because I really did enjoy Cinderella. It was a very, in my review, I said this, a very beautiful movie. It really is.
It was like Maleficent. When I watched it for the first time, I absolutely fell in love with the way that they handled Maleficent.
Yeah, and I gotta see that one. I haven't seen that one either, but I actually want to see that as well. And Cinderella was very good. It was very charming, perfect for kids. And I gotta say, if this is what they're gonna do, I'm hoping they do Aladdin and The Lion King.
Oh my god, I would love to see a live action.
I would love to see a live action. I mean, it sucks because unfortunately Robin Williams isn't here anymore. Yeah. That's the shitty part because it would have been awesome if they did a live action and they recasted him as the genie. Mm-hmm. Oh, that would have been just perfect.
It would have been awesome.
It really would have been. It really would have been. And then, of course, Lion King. Lion King is one of my favorite Disney animations of all time. And I always wonder how they would do that. Would they use CGI lions? Would they use real lions and do that animation to make their lips move or some shit? Because it's an all-animal movie. There's no people in that movie. So I'm just wondering how they would do it. You know? Be interesting. I don't know how they would do that. What do you think? Like,
there's a lot of ways that they could handle this movie. Like, they could record lions. Like, they could do the face capture CGI thing that they did with Smog, too.
Oh, that's true.
They could do that.
That's actually a very good point.
Like what they did with the Planet of the Apes and stuff.
Right. So they can do, yeah, that's true. Motion capture. Actually, that would probably be a very challenging, task for Randy Serkis if they got him. Cause he'd be on all fours. You know what I mean?
And it would be weird too because like trying to take the facial structure of somebody that like talking and then morph it into a lion. Like just trying to imagine how they would do a live action Lion King unless they made them people would just be, but even then it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, that works for Broadway because Lion King on Broadway, that's what it is, but they're in costumes. But I don't think it'll work for a movie. I think you would have to go very good CGI lions with motion capture.
Yeah. Which they could pull off.
Yeah. And Jeremy Irons is still alive, so he can go back and do Scar.
Yeah.
And you can get a lot of the cast back. You can't get the little Taylor kid, but that's okay. But you can still get Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, he was great as Simba.
Yeah. So, is there any particular Disney animation that you would like to see come to life?
Princess and the Frog.
Really? I thought they were planning that too.
I honestly liked. Okay, my favorite Disney movie would probably have to be Beauty and the Beast. I kind of relate to Belle. So, like, for me, the other one would have to be Princess and the Frog, because when I first saw that movie, I absolutely fell in love. I liked the voodoo aspect of it with the voodoo doctor and, like, all of them turning into frogs. Like, it was a really cute idea, and there was a lot of emotion, and there's a lot that they could do with that. Like, there's a lot of dark. They could still keep it light, but still keep it dark at the same time.
Right.
To me, I would really like to see how they play on that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting too. And as well as, like I said, Beauty and the Beast comes out. Cinderella's done well. Maleficent's done well. And then it's only a matter of time before they do a live Frozen. I swear to God, within 10 years, I guarantee you'll see that.
That, or they've already decided to do Frozen 2, which, oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go see it. I saw the first one on DVD. I didn't get to see it in the theaters. My daughter loves it. So, and they had a nice little Frozen short in front of Cinderella, and she got a kick out of that. So, I'll be seeing Frozen 2 when it comes out. I think it's 2017 as well, or 18, but anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap this up for a last minute podcast. That was a lot of fun. Got to, once again for you guys, just remember, Better Call Saul will be up tomorrow night, not tonight, as of this recording. Flash, I will catch up with the last week's episode during tomorrow's review and do the same thing for Arrow. And, before we go, I want Olivia to tell you guys where you can find her wonderful art. Olivia, go ahead.
I have an Etsy page, which is linked to my Facebook page. That's pretty crazy. I know I'm updating my stuff. I just updated and put stuff up for sale on my Etsy. You can find my Facebook page at Off the Beaten Path Creations. There's all kinds of stuff that I upload. I do contests, giveaways, gift cards, all kinds of stuff. You get to see works in progress as I go along, stuff that gets finished. You may be able to see sneak peeks of Rob's stuff as I go along as well. You get to see my cosplays, all of my other stuff, that kind of thing. So if you find that Facebook page, I also have an Instagram that I'm going to be opening up as well to put stuff on for my business and my artwork, so I can separate the two, my personal one and my business one. So just check out the Facebook page and you'll be caught up.
All right. And I gotta say, I'm very, very happy that it's starting to take off for you, because I remember when we first met and we first started talking about planning the podcast, you were doing, a couple of commissions a week, but man, you're flooded now. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. It's an awesome feeling.
Congratulations. Very happy for you.
I said I'm happy to be, here podcasting with you guys too, because you guys have helped a lot, so.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt. And like I said, when you're done with that other art piece, the one I'm patiently waiting for, obviously I'll make a video about that so people can check out your skills. Plus, they're gonna go ballistic. They're gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yep.
All right. So anyway, guys, that's it for this podcast. I know it's been a while. This was a last minute one, but it was a lot of fun. Olivia, thank you so much for being in my corner while I announced my plans for the channel that I'm sure some people will be a little upset about, but it's for the better in the long run. And that is it for Olivia. This is Rob signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment.
Thank you for listening to Entertainment Talk Nation. Don't forget to rate and follow and visit us on YouTube at E.T.N, where you can subscribe to the channel for daily content.